I don't know about you, but I love getting all up in the mountains, so I was well up for this trip to the French Alps. It was the first mountain-based part of our trip for a long time, so I felt like I needed to get amongst it. By this point, we'd already been driving around Europe for well over a month, and Katie hadn't left me in some random tent in the middle of Spain with a million massive ants, so we were doing alright. Along the way, I'd been kind of trying to take photos for a sort of European photo book, which you could maybe say was street photography, but to be honest, I don't really think of myself as a street photographer. I feel like I like trying to capture the essence of a place and documenting life. So maybe I'm somewhere on the street photography spectrum, like one of the many other spectrums I'm probably on. Throughout this trip, I've been relying on the Nikon F100. And while it looks like one of Nikon's really shit digital cameras, it's actually one of the better film cameras around, and it just so happens to be held in the hands of one of the dumbest dudes around. Personally, I want all the automation I can get because I prefer to focus on the creative side of photography rather than worrying too much about exposure and stuff. I don't want to be messing around with settings and miss what's actually happening. So we left Verdun in southern France and drove 7 hours to Chamonix. And we were lucky to be staying in one of the cheapest Airbnbs in the whole town. We were hoping to get up to Lac Blanc, which is kind of the opposite side of the valley to Mont Blanc. It would have been the biggest hike that me and Katie have done up until that point. And me being a big lad and Katie being shit scared of heights, I was sure it'd be fine. But day one didn't really give us the weather that we needed, so we went on a bit of a warm-up hike. I'm pretty sure this was Petit Balcon Sud, but I could really tell you anything and it wouldn't really make a difference. This meant on the way back around we would walk back through quite a bit of Chamonix and be able to see what was happening. Perhaps I should have shortened my stick. These lenses are filthy already. Anyone that's been watching will probably understand why, because I just switch them all the time randomly. And the lens caps come off all the time. That's not going to be good. Jesus. This one's got some pretty mystical vibes. Either that or it's where they found the Unabomber. don't think this is good, but I think there's a good picture somewhere here. I just didn't really get it. Maybe one of these is book worthy if it fits with another photo, but I'm not really sure about that. Chamonix is pretty cool, but it's basically just rich English and American people. Everything is super expensive, so we basically just made some pasta in our little Airbnb and got ourselves prepared for the hike the next day. Oh yeah, this European photo book that I'm putting together is basically from a 3-month tour of Western Europe. I took a shitload of photos in Spain, France, Portugal, Switzerland, and Italy, and I'm going to put together a photo book. I'm aiming for the end of November, beginning of December of 2024. So if you want to find out more about it before it comes out, then sign up to my newsletter. I'll leave a link in the description. Anyway, back to Chamonix. The big hike we had planned was Lac Blanc, which is like nearly 2,500 meters, which is pretty big, especially since the biggest mountain in the UK is like 1,400 meters. And this was half covered in snow, so a little bit of a challenge. Obviously I didn't think it was challenging enough, so I decided to wear 3 bags. So we headed up with our cheap crampons and cheap walking sticks. I guess you can put a price on safety. That price being €43.78. I'm shattered. 2 old folks have just nailed it up the mountain way quicker than us. It's not a race. All my lenses are filthy. But now we've stopped, it's very nice. Ready to rock. This is the kind of picture that's nice, but it's not really going to be in line with my book. I guess that's the difficulty with landscape work. It's not that no landscapes would suit my style, but it's kind of difficult to come across the kind of moments that I rate when you're out on the mountains.
Blue moon, kind of mysterious, shaded with someone I'm not really into. Do you need to fix it?
How you doing?
Talking bullshit.
Better now.
Emotional.
It's hard to see when your eyes look dull.
I'm a big fan of this shot. It's hard to get a proper exposure sometimes with the contrast, but yeah, this is a good one for me.
Let me get in the slide bit.
Putting crampons on at this point really was locking the stable door after the horse was bolted. They look pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Hopefully not too bad. So we were aiming for Lac Blanc, but we stopped at Lac de Chezeries. I don't know. I can't speak French. I can barely speak English. But we realised you just can't see shit. The lakes are all frozen over anyway, so it's kind of pointless to carry on going even further. Of course I'm on low battery. I've got like one original Sony battery and then one cheapo one. I think this is the cheapo one. I think we've discovered what I would be if I was an animal.
Been 1 or 2 since I ran into you. Do you need a picture? Well, that gets old. It's hard to take one when your iPhone's full. Who's gonna save you?
If you thought it was over, think again, because the way down was way more dodgy than the way up. Katie was bricking it about sliding down the mountain, and fair dues, some of these inclines were ridiculous. Me, on the other hand, just bagged me up and chucked me down, I don't care. We'd heard about ladders on this route, but we thought we'd missed them. And then we went on to discover the biggest ladder section that, I mean, I've never seen a ladder section. This is the only ladder section I've ever seen. Did not get any footage of the ladders, but we've just been down those bad boys.
I know, but look at that.
Like a divorced dad that's just discovered Bleu de Chanel, you could smell this bighorn bastard before you saw him. I can kind of see why goats back in the day had a bit of a mystical vibe about them. Also, they're just so f***ing dead behind their eyes. Why do I feel like he's going to do this?
Oh no, it's gonna spray at me. Oh look! Oh.
And that was pretty much that for Chamonix. It's a mixed bag for me. It was a really cool place to visit, and I mean, obviously I love the mountains. But photographically, it was very different to what my style usually is. I don't know if I really had that many photos that would go towards a photo book, but I still had a really good time shooting. And of course, as I said before, if you want to check out my photo book, then sign up to my newsletter, you'll be the first to hear about it. But yeah, thanks for listening to my bullshit. It's been a pleasure. If you enjoyed this one, there's a load more videos just like this on my channel, and a load more to come as well. Thank you very much. Take care.